What's up, guys? Welcome back to Feral Feeds. Today we're doing an update on this Oracle character. I just want to start off by saying, unfortunately, I was wrong. I think I was wrong. I don't think it's rage bait. I think he actually believes in the things that he says, which was the worst case scenario. So he kept yapping about this website called Substack, so I decided to go and find it so y'all wouldn't have to. And here we are, so let's go through this together. So this is a timeline of Toya's abuse. So this is a thread or page made by him, talking about everyone who's abused him, which seems like a long list of people. For him to go this far, it makes me believe that it's not rage bait. You know those crazy people you see on the street who just spew out random stuff like, I'm Jesus Christ and I was sent here, or I'm the king of whatever and everyone should bow down to me. Well, this is what happens when those people get social media access. And the thing with mental health is you can't just sit on the issue. You gotta get help ASAP and nip it in the bud, because the longer you wait, the deeper you get into it. Then it gets to a point where you're on the internet building a community of other mentally disabled people trying to take over the world. The world in your head is not reality, but you don't know that. You can't tell the difference, and it would take so much work and damage control to bring you back. Like, the brain is very complicated. Oh, and another thing I found out, so this person's mom is a doctor, and he claimed abuse because the mom was trying to get him admitted. I'm not going to say the mom's name, but it will come up on this page, so just a disclaimer, this is all public information and for educational purposes only. So here we go. Alright, so Oracle's Innocence Project. Exonerating Oracle, who has been falsely accused by fascists and white supremacist patriarchs. Timeline of Oracle's abuse since the start of the pandemic. Alright. So you're too disabled to work, but here you are hiking in a waterfall. This is a picture of Oracle, who is a dark-skinned fat black person wearing a blue bathing suit, seated on a rock in a river with a wooden staff in his hands. This sounds like a ChatGPT prompt. Okay. His online presence begins with his blog, Mirrored Love. His stories revolutionize and inspire the internet. Oracle lives with and is abused by Adeyanju. I'm assuming this is a TikTok handle. His roommate in 2021 when he tries to leave them. He is blocked and isolated from community, including by popular creators like Estelle Ellison of Abolished Time, who unsubscribes from his Patreon. A loss of income is a loss of life. This is about to be hilarious. Okay. A loss of income is a loss of life. Alright, so this is about Adeyanju's abuse. So this person lived with Oracle from March of 2021 to October of 2021. Adeyanju found Oracle's looking for a roommate post on Instagram, where Oracle was also crowdfunding for survival. On their former page, Mirrored Love, Adeyanju started following him. So this person, the roommate, didn't give their side on TikTok. It was just a simple post stating that there's no beef, but this person did bring up that Toya has PDF behavior. So basically, the roommate saw a person in need of housing and decided to help them out, it sounds like, and this is what they get: abuse claims and a post on Substack. Alright, next. Oracle's labor is exploited by Adrienne Marie Brown in 2021, who co-ops their piece, "Shh, we live in a culture of silence," blah, 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 and does not compensate Oracle despite his demands. Well, how about you ask nicely? Please and thank you. Alright, so it's about a book. I guess he helped write, didn't get paid for. I often see so many opinion pieces examining why callouts are extreme, dangerous, the master's tools, toxic, wrong, and destructive. As an abolitionist, I understand that punishment is a tool of white inferiority. That when we seek to punish those who have caused harm, we see them as disposable. In order for all of us to be free, we must... Oh, hell no. Alright, back. Next, Oracle's labor is... So this whole talking in third person just reminds me of schizophrenia. Oracle's labor is exploited by Minachi. Minachi now boasts about their six-figure salary after exploiting and disposing of Oracle 4 years ago. Get over it. Oracle is abused by new roommates Zoemi and Ishii. In 2022, when he calls them in for colorism, fatphobia, ableism, anti-trans masculinity, and blah blah. Alright, these are the next abusers, I guess. Zoemi and Ishii. Alright, let's see this. It's long, but it seems more interesting than that book stuff. Alright, so after being abused by Adeyanju in 2021, Oracle lived with their former friends Zoemi and Ishii from December of 2021 to July 2022. Boom. Oracle had invited Zoemi to live with them because Zoemi was in an abusive relationship and needed help getting out. Oracle also needed support after being abused by Adianju. Okay, sounds like trauma bonding. They could not leave their apartment, but they also couldn't manage the rent and labor alone. So they came up with a solution to ask their friends to live with them. Zoemi asked Oracle if Ishii, Zoemi's partner, could live with them too, since Ishii was being evicted, and of course Oracle said yes. So, alright, so all of y'all are trauma bonding. When Ishii arrived, they began triangulating Oracle and Zoemi by creating competition by making an insensitive joke at the expense of their partner. They told Zoemi in front of Oracle that that Z must be so jealous that they came to support Oracle after Oracle had been abused by Adianju for a few days in October while Zoemi was still living with their abusive ex-partner. By putting Zoemi and Oracle against each other, Ishii would set the stage for their continued abuse of power by engaging in divide and conquer tactics. Divide and conquer. Ishii was also the lightest of the three of the roommates, so their abuse of power was also rooted in colorism. Okay. A few days later, Oracle would be woken up to loud arguing and yelling when he confronted the two of them about what happened the night before. Ishii immediately got defensive and used Darvo to claim that Oracle was interrupting their couple time. Darvo, okay. Hold on, y'all. Darvo is a manipulative tactic where a perpetrator denies their harmful actions, attacks the victim's credibility, and reverses the roles to portray themselves as a real victim and the other person. Who does this sound like? Deny, attack, and reverse victim and defender. Sounds familiar. Zoemi had confided in Oracle privately that Ishii had emotionally abused them and called them the B word during a conversation they were having the night before. Zoemi also admitted to Oracle that Z knew that their partner was not as progressive as they said they were prior to them moving in with us. By withholding this information from me, so now this is first person. By withholding this information from me, Z did not give me the opportunity to give or withhold my consent about Ishii living with us. The lack of informed consent is coercion. Ugh. This is also intimate partner violence. Ishii knew that Zoemi was physically disabled and depended on them for care. So was I. So both of y'all needed a caregiver and depended on this one person. Okay. By weaponizing their light-skinned privileges and leveraging their resources, they created an environment of anxiety and control. Although Zoemi was being harmed by Zer's partner, Z made excuses for them, saying that Ishii was behaving the way that they were because they were trying to come to terms with their gender identity. This is abuse apologism. The isms get me too. This is annoying. Struggling with one's gender identity is not an excuse to abuse others. Interesting. Struggling with one's gender identity is not an excuse to abuse others, period. Zoemi also started to take their pain out on Oracle by being anti-trans masculine. Zoemi repeatedly crossed Oracle's boundaries around his gender expression. Zoemi bought Oracle panties and was trying to buy him bras. I would buy you bras too, even though Oracle said no. Zoemi would make comments to the group that, for some reason, mass queer people don't like Zim. Zoemi asked Oracle 3 times to give Zim money to get an LLC, even though Oracle said that he could not all 3 times because he did not have the capacity to help Zim start Zer's herbalism business. Oracle was already at his limit with supporting Zim with housing, food, and also trying to navigate conflict, while both Ishii and Zoemi evaded accountability. Zoemi also crossed Ishii's boundaries by pushing them to quit smoking cigarettes, even though Zer was aware that Ishii was a smoker, even prior to them dating each other. Ishii came to Oracle one day. Wait, so I thought Ishii was y'all's abuser. So now everybody's just abusing each other? Ishii came to Oracle one day to express their discomfort at Zoemi's lack of boundaries. Oracle, despite having been harmed by Ishii, still comforted Ishii and told them that it was their body and that no one had the right to coerce or control them. Zoemi was also ableist. One time when all 3 of them were talking together, Zoemi was sharing about Zer's experience with Zer's mother's abusive... Alright, this is a lot. Let me skip. It's just a bunch of imaginary, discrimination. Oracle's care and concern for everyone in the household did not stop him from continuing to be harmed and abused. After Oracle had called Ishii in for the harm that they caused Zoemi by calling Zim Ishii retaliated by withholding resources from Oracle, mainly refusing to give him rides when he needed to run errands, knowing that he was losing his ability to drive due to his disability worsening as well as the abuse that he had previously. So what can you do? What do you do besides sitting there? You can't work, you can't drive, you can't get along with people. What do you do? While they withheld resources from Oracle, they isolated Zoemi through love bombing, like buying Zim flowers and cookies and taking them to get plants and crystals instead of holding themselves accountable in earnest. They did all this while denying Oracle basic human decency, like an apology for the harm that they caused him. Ishii would also make comments about how their family left their aunt who was a darker skinned woman in a nursing home and neglected her. Maybe she was just old. You don't leave people in a nursing home just because they're dark skinned. Oracle did not like the fact that Ishii was using him as a soundboard for unpacking their light skinned privilege. Here we go again. Considering the fact that they were not taking steps toward changing their behavior to keep Oracle, the darkest member of the household, safe. Oracle called out the both Ishii and Zoemi for weaponizing their couple privilege, so there's a couple privilege, to hoard resources while neglecting Oracle's needs. They were preserving their comfort as a couple at Oracle's expense, who is a single, unpartnered person. There's so many labels here, but this reminds me of when Squidward lost his job and he was like, he had to live with SpongeBob and he started like demanding everything. All right, yeah, this is a lot. Let's just go to the end. This is financial abuse and extortion. To this day, Oracle has not received an apology from either Ishii nor Zoemi. Zoemi has been using Oracle's old Instagram account that he gifted to Zim, so it's really the entitlement for me. Oracle lives alone in 2023, but then becomes homeless due to lack of income, continued smear campaigns, and starts couch surfing. So you quit your job. You didn't lose your job. So you being homeless, not having income, is your fault. The smear campaigns are also your fault because you continue to embarrass yourself on the internet saying all these outrageous things. When he is forced to return to his mother's house, that's his mother, kicks him out again, threatening medical incarcerate him. You should have got the help. Oracle is abused by former friend Nick Lovett, who engages in colorism, polyphobia, and hobophobia by denying Oracle housing and accusing him of emotional abuse and trying to break up their marriage. When he called them in for perpetuating amatonormativity, okay, is this a definition? Prioritizing romantic relationships over all others and marginalizing single people and other relational styles. And polyphobia is the fear of polyamorous people. I'm so tired of people adding phobia to the end of every word. Like no one's afraid. No one's afraid. Use another word. This is Nick Lovett right here. That's her TikTok. So I already watched it. It's long as hell. She has like she yaps a lot on her TikTok. And yeah, she's a yapper. This is a full video of Nick's smear campaign against Oracle. Note the vindictiveness in which they make these accusations, as well as how they grift off of Oracle's abuse. She calls it a smear campaign, which describes what I'm doing right now. It's basically just people talking about her on the internet. Oracle moves to California in January of 2024 and lives with Yua, a tinkering nightmare, Jesus, who, along with their non-black friends, Amber, Ziello, and Arturo, abuse him by calling him delusional for calling out their ableist abuse, lying about potential COVID exposure while caretaking a disabled and homeless person. All right, so this is about the next abusers. Oracle is abused by Yua, Amber, Ziello, and Arturo. I swear, if this is long. Alright, so we're just gonna skim through this. Oracle left New York, where they're from, to go to Oakland to live with his former friend, Yua, who agreed to live together with him since both of them had lost their housing. Yua having lost on-campus housing and Oracle having lost his apartment. Oracle had expressed his excitement to live together and support each other during this. So you're excited that both of y'all lost your housing? Upon arrival, Yua put Oracle in contact with their non-black friends, Amber, Ziello, and Arturo, to help Oracle move and to also help with caretaking, since Oracle and Yua were both bed-bound. Jesus. So it's another disabled friend. Okay. Amber became their caretaker with the knowledge that they were both chronically ill, disabled, wheelchair. Oh, Jesus. This sounds like a nightmare. And COVID conscious. Unfortunately, Amber crossed their boundaries by coming around him unmasked after having attended a play party that she did not inform Oracle of prior. This is lack of informed consent and lying by omission. She only informed Oracle and Yua much later and then admitted to not having capacity to be their caretaker anymore. Oracle was rightfully so, was frustrated and angry at these acts of blame. You're always angry, bro. Around the same time, Oracle was also being cyberbullied on Twitter. You're getting kicked out of all of these places. You can't get along with people. At some point, you just gotta step back and ask yourself, am I the problem? All of these people can't be wrong. You don't get along with anybody. These friendships, relationships, whatever, they don't last long. Ask yourself, am I the problem? Oracle flees to Baltimore in July of 2024 and lives with Tay Eman, who abuses him mentally. Here we go with the anti-black, ableist, transphobic, horophobic abuse, and physically, forced starvation, and threatening to call the cops on Oracle. You are not starving, trust me. When Oracle finally leaves them, Tay starts a smear campaign, here we go, accusing him of abusing them and their kids. Tay also doxes Oracle and their friend's location. This is the other abuser. So this is the one with the kids. I'm assuming Oracle wanted to walk around shirtless with. after being kicked off of Twitter. So you're beefing with Twitter too due to cyberbullying and abandoned. So you were being cyberbullied, but Twitter kicked you off, and you don't think you're the problem? You a tinkering nightmare and their non-black friends for standing. All right, whatever. So this one's about Tay. Tay decided to abuse Oracle by engaging in colorism, fatphobia, transphobia, ableism, horophobia, and classism, and threatened to kill a deep dark skin. Oh, this is a lot of labels. Afro-Haitian, fat, trans, disabled wheelchair user, and chronically ill community member, artist, Jesus, former teacher, and political educator, sex worker, and comrade. Consider this person an active threat until held accountable. Tay's light-skinned biracial child was hostile towards Oracle. So now you're beefing with the kid. Okay. Towards Oracle when he moved in. Some of the statements made by their child that were hostile towards Oracle were, if I lived with someone that used drugs, I would kick them out. Me too. This has actually happened to Oracle, who was abused and kicked out of his mother's house for smoking weed as a young adult. It's also antagonistic towards homeless people, which Oracle was experiencing. Another statement the child made was, I'm afraid of people with... This was transphobic. Oracle and Tay were both friends with a trans misogyny affected person. Oracle had talked to his friend about her coming to visit him, but when he heard the child make the statement, it deeply alarmed him. He even communicated what happened to his friend to tell her it was not safe in the house. Another time, Oracle talked about getting back into doing sex work to survive, and the child unprovoked said that porn should be banned. How old is this kid? Oracle explained to the child that people do sex work to survive, and that by banning it, it would harm sex workers, and that it was okay for people not to be comfortable with, but it didn't give them the right to ban it for other people. The child also made fun of a woman who was wearing revealing clothing in front of Oracle, and instead of correcting the child, Tay even laughed along with her. Tay themselves displayed controlling behaviors. Tay would hoard the communal snacks in their room, and their children had to ask for permission to eat the snacks. One day, while Oracle and Tay were sitting in the backyard, there was a group of homeless women who were smoking and exchanging clothes with each other in the alleyway. Tay explained that they needed to go somewhere else to do that, and Oracle said they have nowhere else to go. This is their home. I wouldn't want that behind my house, just saying. Tay and their children had recently moved to Baltimore, and a predominantly black city, dealing with gentrification and homelessness from a predominantly white town in Ohio. Their statement was deeply insensitive. Tay would also claim that they wanted a village, but were incredibly possessive over their children and would not allow Oracle to correct their children, hell no, and guide their children away from harmful supremacist ideologies. The idea that parents own their children is really... Jesus, okay. As a former teacher, it was common for Oracle to correct children, and okay, but you're not their teacher. Finally, since Tay was not receptive to Oracle calling them in on... I noticed she doesn't say calling someone out. She says calling them in. On multiple occasions about their behavior and the behavior of their light-skinned child, Oracle let Tay and their children know that they would be leaving due to the harm. Okay, here it is. Them, along with Kiana and Mosaic, created a wanted poster where they smeared Oracle's reputation using Darvo, here's that word again, and isolated him from community and resources. Some of the lies they spread about him include that he exposed himself to the children. In reality, Oracle is a fat black trans man who is also disabled and feels more comfortable walking around with his shirt off. Okay, so you're using your imaginary disability and being trans as an excuse to walk around with your shirt off. I've never heard that one before. Not only did he ask the other members of the household if it was okay for him to walk around with his shirt off, and they said yes, other members of the household also walked around with their shirt off or in their underwear. They need to take those kids away. The kids do not need to be there. Oracle being singled out and called a predator was rooted in colorism. Tay thinks like a rapist. Just because I was topless doesn't mean I was inviting their hypersexualization of my body. Another claim is that Oracle financially abused Tay, which is also untrue. Not only did Tay agree to pay the rent, Oracle contributed in other ways, like cooking, cleaning, educating the kids since they were homeschooled, growing food in the backyard and inside using hydroponic gardening skills, and they also were saving the money that they raised to help get a stair lift for the household since both Tay and him struggled to climb the stairs. So you thought you didn't have to pay rent because you cooked and cleaned and... Okay, yeah, next. So this is Seba. So basically, alright, I think that's it. So that was the timeline of this person's abusers. So obviously, they're the problem. There's a common denominator here. I hope one day they realize that instead of making their own smear campaigns about these people. But if you want to go to the website, this is it. This is the link right here. I'm not going to put it in the description, but here she is. This bedbound, wheelchair-bound, disabled person in the middle of the rainforest. But yeah, that's all I have for y'all. Don't commit Darvo and pay her reparations. Yeah, thank y'all for watching.